invite people to become donors? This is a great question, right? So you've put your team in place, you've got your experts, you've done your hard work about getting the right documents in place, you've got your funds in place, you have it all done, and now you're like, where do I go from here? And that is, how do we invite donors to be generous? And so I would say it's really all centered around the word intention. So it's kind of three steps in four parts. The first step that we used at the Resurrection Foundation is to worship with intention. And so, obviously, right, we always attempt to worship with intention, but even around planned giving, we attempt to worship with intention. So every year at Resurrection Foundation, or at Resurrection, the Resurrection Foundation would have Resurrection Foundation weekend. And we often would choose to have that either at Memorial Day, All Saints Day, or it could be embedded in our stewardship campaign each year, where one Sunday was set apart to invite people to consider the discipleship act of creating a legacy gift, right? So it was a part of the service. We celebrated the Resurrection Foundation. We'd have volunteers on site that could answer questions they might have about the Resurrection Foundation or about planned giving. Again, that's your original team of awesome, smart people serving alongside you in that capacity. And then after that worship service, at that worship service, we would have donor declarations on hand, as well as our brochure and our impact report, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. But we'd actually have those things on hand. So if Sally came up to the table and said, I want more information about this, I've already done this. Sometimes this happened too. I've already done this with my attorney. I've set aside a tithe from my estate to support the church. And Sally could then take home a donor declaration, complete that on her own, or come back and have a cup of coffee and complete that with one of our teammates or volunteers. But they could also take it home even if they hadn't created a donor declaration, because it would give them the chance to think through what kind of gift they want to create. And then they could help us receive that gift better by completing that form once they've created that gift. Um, so we had the once a year kind of Resurrection Foundation focused worship service, but then throughout the year, we would feed Adam stories about planned giving generosity that were kind of remarkable. And then he would preach into those. He would just kind of drip, drip those into his sermons throughout the year, so that we were kind of always reminding folks throughout the year that they too can consider what it means to create a planned gift, and why they would want to create a planned gift as an act of discipleship. In addition to worshiping with intention, we also attempted to care with intention too. And so this was kind of where my role at Resurrection Foundation came in, as I would sit down with folks one on one and help them learn more about plan giving, discuss the kind of why they might consider creating a plan gift and how they can help God transform God's world through plan giving. And then I could even help. I mean, this information I'm sharing with you, I had that short 6 slide deck that I could share with them if they needed kind of step by step instructions on how to create a plan gift. So that was often with kind of two groups of people. One, people, those magic people over the age of 50 who are in the process of setting up their estate, updating their estate, or again, are just incredibly generous to your parish. Or two, people who would what we call check the box on their annual stewardship card. I've got a sample of this too, and I'll pull it up on the screen share. We actually, at the Resurrection Foundation and at the church I serve now as well, every year on the stewardship card that we would invite people to fill out with their estimate of giving, we actually had on this card, in addition to their demographic information, their telephone number, their phone number, the gift they were offering on an annual basis to the church, we had these two questions available right on the card. Because again, it was a reminder that this was another way to be generous to God through the church. And that first box would say, I or we have created a planned gift to church through our state. Or the second line would say, I would like to learn more about creating a planned gift to the church through my or our estate. And so this was an opportunity for us to have a list annually of people either who've already done this and then they needed to complete a donor declaration, or people who wanted to learn more about the process. And so that was how we would care with intention and meet with donors one on one. We also taught or tried to teach with intention. And so there were a couple of things that we did annually at Resurrection Foundation and even at the church I'm serving now. Is once a year we offered an estate planning seminar, and it was completely free um for the potential donors to participate in. It was for every church member to participate in, and it was really about how do we set up our how do we set up our estate, and how do we take good care of our estate. And we see that as a opportunity for us to help disciple our members so that their children, their family members, their friends have an easier time helping to help with their estate when the time comes. That was hosted by local estate planning attorneys who volunteered their time. But our United Methodist Foundation here in Kansas also provided those for churches who weren't resurrection size, that couldn't provide those for themselves. So you all might have the opportunity to lean into some of your resources in that way too. We also provided something called Binder for Life through Resurrection Foundation, or through Resurrection. And it was really important. And it was the opportunity to help our church members get their estates in order again in a 3 to 4 week class. And one of the tasks in that was on how to be generous. And so that was another way that folks could learn more about what it meant to create a estate gift as well. Um, I will tell you this. My mom and dad belonged to St. James Episcopal Church in Wichita, Kansas, and they did a binder for life through their church. So I think you all have similar resources available in your denomination. And it was brilliant. When we needed it, we had all of my mom's resources in one place. And that's an opportunity for you to come alongside families and in that process to help them consider plan giving too. And so we worshiped with intention, we cared with intention, and we taught with intention all around plan giving.